Okay, hey everybody, welcome to this evening's stream. We're going to be continuing our series of game creation streams this week. This time we're looking at our time trial starter game. So we're going to be building up a bit of a city kind of rooftop style runner kind of game, jumping through checkpoints. We're going to give it a bit of a superhero twist to sort of celebrate our comic book announce, which happened earlier this week. If you haven't already seen about our comic book, do make sure you check out one of the links. I'm sure one of the mods can throw into chat for us now. If not, we'll make sure it's in the description perhaps after the stream is finished. But yeah, so super exciting news. Along with the comic book announce, we did also launch our Instagram social media. So if you are on Instagram and you'd like to get more information about the comics and more things, like concept art and those sorts of things, then do make sure you follow us on Instagram, which is instagram.com/CraytaGame. I'm joined by the usual group this week. So if you guys all want to say hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Right, gang. Yeah, and Maggie's here as well, I think, as well. Cool. So we'll get straight into it. So as always, we'll go to our create page and create a new time trial. So here we have a timed race between 2 points. Players can repeat the race at any time and their best time is saved. So the thing with this game is, or this starter game, is that it's kind of one that is a drop in, drop out style. You're kind of racing your own time. You're not necessarily racing against other people. So it works quite nice, as I say, is one that you can kind of come in and play by yourself. You don't have to have a group come in to these sorts of games, which are always fun. I think that one kind of works for now as a picture. So superhero simulator. So as I say, the idea is we're kind of going to take this and turn it into a bit of a superhero style game. As always, if anyone in chat has any suggestions, whether you kind of a more interesting, funny name for the game or anything you'd like to see us try and build, then do make sure you ask. Or if you just have any general questions about Crayta itself, then we've got mods on hand to try and answer those best they can. Okay, superhero simulator. So we've got Adam, we've got Lucy, Maggie, and Sean. Okay, so you guys should all have just received your invites into the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so while those guys join, if anyone's here for the first time and you're not quite sure what Crayta is, so Crayta is a collaborative game development platform which is coming exclusively to Stadia this summer. So as you can see, we've jumped into an editor instance here, and this is where we're actually going to build our game. And we're all working together collaboratively in real time, which is a really, really nice way to sort of throw games together and just generally have quite a lot of fun along the way. Cool. So if you guys want to just start throwing a bit of a city together, perhaps, I will get the library up and download our favorite city buildings. So we've used these a few times. But actually what we're going to do this time is kind of use them in a different way. So they've always been used in the past as a kind of scenery. This time we're going to use them for kind of actual gameplay purposes. So, okay, those should be there. Ooh, it suddenly got really dark. Okay, get my drone out here. Will players get combat or non-combat pets / cosmetics? So I guess to start with, the kind of pet we have is almost like the small drone. Interestingly, a lot of the drone kind of the different models of drone you can unlock have a kind of animalistic trait to them sometimes, which is quite nice. You could always code up and have your own little familiars and things that might work with you in game, so little voxel versions of them and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of power and flexibility there in terms of having those sorts of familiars. Hope that answers that question. Cool. Right, so I can see we've made our base plate nice and big to start with. So yeah, I think if you guys want to just start, there we go, just start throwing some of these buildings down. I think I'll help you.
So I think the plan to make sure this isn't total chaos is for you to kind of lead the path for the time trial, Russ.
Yes. I'm just thinking what I might do is actually draw something down on the terrain for you guys to.
Okay,
Perhaps
that's an interesting
leave.
way of like commenting.
Yeah. So, yeah, how well this works. But if we start, we're going to start here. Okay, so I've left a green square that we're going to start from. I'm just doing this out of carpet, so you'll have to excuse me for that. And then we'll go in, perhaps in this sort of direction. So the course will kind of follow this red line. That might be an interesting way to show this. Okay, so as we said at the start, this is a collaborative game development engine, and all of the changes that we're all making to the world, we're kind of seeing these happen in real time, which again is a really nice way of being able to work on a sort of collaborative project like this. Is, you know, we get instant feedback, we can plot and plan in ways like this. So, for example, I'm just throwing down this red line as a kind of base version of the thing. So yeah, I think I'll use these buildings here. That's quite a nice sort of stepping stone. We've got,
Did you say the green splodge is the start?
yeah, the green sort of cube.
Cool.
Where is the start, and then it'll follow the red line round in a bit of a pattern. Okay, then I'll work out the end when I get to it. But some buildings might change when I sort of think of it a slightly different way. But okay, so we're going to start at the top of this skyscraper that you've just placed there. Then, yeah, I think that'd make sense. Okay, so perhaps we'll go from here and we'll jump down to a slightly smaller one. So let's have a look at what we've got. Something like that. Okay, so once we've got this filled out, what do we think we're going to start adding? To say, like Lucy, you mentioned a bit of a rooftop garden somewhere. That might look quite nice.
Mm-hmm. Do that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to add a kind of interesting superhero start area, which is where players start, and then try and come up with some interesting way of sending them to the actual start of the race.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an idea I had to try and make it, you know, a bit more interesting, tell a bit of a story in the game. You might have seen that I'd called it at the start Superhero Simulator, and to try and play on the kind of sci-fi side of Crayta. I thought it'd be interesting. So rather than just being sort of superheroes in a city, but the idea is we're almost in a simulation. So at the start, we could have some little area, you interact or you do something that takes you into a city to start running around as a simulated superhero. That's a bit of a game in a game in a game, bit of a gameception.
Whoa.
Bit of meta going on there.
Yeah, I thought that might be quite a nice way to tell that story.
I'm desperate trying to think about how I could do comic style UI.
Oh yeah, I think that's definitely a good way to show the sort of power of the UI. I'm sure you can put something together.
I'm sure I can try.
Yeah, no pressure now, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Nothing.
Flesh out these areas a bit more. So we're not going to worry too much about filling the city floor with like roads and stuff, because the idea is if the players fall off the rooftops, then they'll be eliminated and go back to a checkpoint. So it's not so much about the decoration on the floor, but we're going to, I guess, focus on having things up in the in the skyrise, and we'll use some world settings to kind of mask the floor a bit anyway. I think just placing some of these ones off the edge can add some scale. It's always nice to jump back to basic mode sometimes and just run around these cities that we throw together as quickly as we do. Gives you an idea of the scale of just how big and quite impressive these buildings look. Okay, so it's quite a big space here.
Not that we can really take credit ourselves for these buildings.
No, these are particularly good ones. But it'd be interesting, as I say, this is one of the first times I think we're going to use them for actual kind of gameplay rather than just sort of scene decoration. Yeah, I've just moved the checkpoints up. Sorry, yeah?
Am I right in saying these were tax buildings, our art outsource manager?
Yes, he made these. Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, I really like the car park. Like, it's just such a kind of almost intricate, but very, like, it shows you how simple it can be, but how cool it can look at the same time. Like, it's quite a lot of detail, just out of the voxels. Then obviously using the voxel extraction for the slopes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, I think we're almost there. So all right, I'll leave you guys filling that out a little bit more, I think, just with a bit more detail. Oh, there's a rooftop garden I can see popping up over there. Nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to our world settings and just start changing the way the world looks and feels a bit. So some of you guys might want to check your editor time of day preset override just before it goes really dark for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch a light show.
Cool. So the idea is, again, we're going to try and do some things here to make the world look and feel like a comic book. So to start with, we're going to have quite a dark, almost washed out of color, like a bit more of a moody comic. And then we have some events, some sort of specific jump events and things where we're going to trigger our color grading to come in and really inject some light and some color. So we're going to play with it a little bit. So it might look quite dark and dreary to start with, but that's just to kind of play on the different styles of comic that you could have. So I want to change the skydome asset to space to start with, so it's going to get super dark straight away. Get this nice starry night sky to use. Yeah, I think I'll stick with that horizon actually, so we see kind of ocean in the distance and these trees. That would make sense. I'm going to override the sun. Okay, and there's a few more options that will appear here, so we can change things like the intensity and the color. So I'm just going to drop this intensity down, but then actually turn off shadows. And what that gives us is this kind of quite bright, almost like moonlight effect. Which if I just position up here, then we can sort of spin the sun around and find nice angles for that. So again, that might look a bit bright and a bit strange for now, but once we get the color grading on top of that, I think it should hopefully work out a bit nicer. Okay, so color grading is simply just an option here. So quite nice, and we can just pick various color grades. Change. So alien planet looks a little bit predator vision. Not quite what we're going for. So we've got this super color one, which again, very different vibe. I think we're just going to go for cool here, so we get kind of a cool blue, almost midnight glow on the city. And here and have a little look around. So it's bright enough that we can see the buildings, but we get a bit of an impression that it's sort of washed out of any super vibrant colours. Okay, and then on top of this, we've got some post processes we can do. So we could go for things like a sketch, make it look like a sketched comic, which would actually work really nicely. I think for this sort of gameplay where we need to spot specific clues in the environment might be a bit tricky, but from a very artistic point of view, this one is actually quite a nice one if you're going for that sort of hand-drawn look. Outline again, sort of super, sort of quite an extreme post process to add, and in some cases, this would look really cool for specific types of games. I always think, and I should probably make a note of this, but making like a 2D platformer with this sort of outline, I say like 2D, like a side-on platformer, would actually look really nice with this outline on it. But for this stream or this game, I think we're going to go for the cell shaded. So we get that kind of dark outline on the edges of things, and again, it just gives us that kind of slightly hand sketch look alongside our kind of moonlit night.
This is my favorite post process. It looks really good.
It does look really good, yeah. It's always one that you put on and it's hard to like kind of take away again. Okay. So now we've got that. Let's just change a couple more things here. So we have our death plane. So that would normally be -1,000 kind of off the edge of the base, but actually we want this kind of base level to be where the players get eliminated. So I just want to change that to be 100 instead. So that's 100 above sort of the origin. Okay, and if you haven't started on the start point yet at all, have you, Adam?
Yes.
Oh, you have. Have you got
cracking on that?
Have you got a new start point?
How do you mean by a new start
Like
point?
a new locator to spawn at when we begin the game?
No, I was using the start default one.
Okay, you've moved that one. That's fine.
Just haven't moved it into position yet.
Cool. That's fine. You go with that one. Okay, cool. So that's that. How are you getting on, Sean? Have you started any UI stuff yet, or are you city building still?
I know, I'm still quickly researching some stuff I can do.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Let me know
Something.
if you jump into anything, and I'll come and kind of watch you live just for the extra added pressure.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Sean.
Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm just going to get those checkpoints I slid up at the start and start placing some of those so we get an idea of where the circuit's going to be. Just trying to catch some questions here. So, is it possible to alter play speed? So yeah, from the player template, and this is something we can actually do now. I think it'd be interesting to have a different sort of starting multiplier anyway. So we're going to use the speed multiplier as like a buff pickup at some point. But off the bat, we can change the sort of the default value. So here we have our player template, and we get all these special options for our player. So we can do things like changing their camera perspective, changing how the camera looks, how far away they have to be from things that interact with them, whether they can crouch. There's all sorts of different options. And here at the top, we can see a couple around speed multiplier, so how fast can the characters run. So I'm going to change that to 1.5, so they're a little bit quicker as a base, and then I've changed their jump height multiplier to 2, so we can all jump twice as high. That's quite an interesting way of kind of making it, again, just straight away make the characters feel a little bit more heroic, running faster, jumping higher. Okay, so search here for checkpoint.
So the actual start of the race, Russ, is that where your character is at the moment?
I think so. I'm just about to put a checkpoint on it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Remember to get some music in this week. Must be some pretty cool,
yes.
some pretty cool heroic sounding music.
And we don't want it to increase in pitch every
God,
action
no.
anyone does.
No, I think I've just about got over that.
Don't we though?
But it was so good.
It was brilliant.
It was
I think every
brilliant.
game should feature
It was inspired. It was just awful.
Yeah. it was great for about the first 2 minutes, and then I think Nightmare Fuel was where we ended up. But yeah, it was an interesting suggestion. So again, that was a suggestion that came from chat last week for anyone who missed it. So if you do have any suggestions, I'll do our best to sort of catch them out, and we'll see what we can add to our game as we develop it.
Guess what I'm building? It's a monorail.
It's funny, you said that just as a big piece of it swung over my head. Nice.
Gives it a bit of height, bit
Yeah.
of interest.
Yeah, no, definitely that'd
Ties
be.
it all together.
I swear any game that Lucy gets her hands on ends up with a monorail in like 5
Absolutely.
minutes.
Even the farming game.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised we didn't get one through our castle last week. Our litter picking game with a neon monorail blitzing through the middle of it. Cool. Okay, so let's add that. So I think we probably want to start off with an epic jump, don't we? So I'll leave a space there for that big jump. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to download a package of something I made earlier. So again, this is going to contain some logic around getting the players to jump kind of based on their proximity to the edge. So what I was trying to develop here was a system that kind of high risk, high reward. So the longer you wait before you jump, the further you'll go. Obviously, if you jump too late, you'll fall off the building. If you jump too soon, you won't jump far enough. So a lot of the stuff I've done in this is stuff we've seen on stream before, so I didn't want to kind of spend the whole stream rebuilding it. But what I will do is actually develop on top of this now and show you some of the things you can do with adding color changes and post-process changes and things through the API, through the code. So this is a package called City Racing. City Racing, there it is. If I install this, this just contains a couple of things, so speed boost and this kind of jump mechanic. Blue Peter badge alert, one I made earlier. Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of, I mean, that's part of the beauty of Crayta and the sort of the collaboration isn't just necessarily with the people in the same instance as you, but we have this community tab where players can package up assets and templates and things that they've created and share them with the community to use in their own games. Okay, so we've got a couple of things here. We've got jump trigger. So this is just a trigger with a locator in it, and this locator, if I set the relative position here, so we can see this red arrow is going to tell me when a player jumps in this trigger. We're going to use the launch API, which we've used before for things like the hammer that we've made on stream. We're going to launch the player in that direction, which should be over there. And how far we throw them is determined by the property here. So we have a 4,000. I'm not sure you guys can see that. So we have this 4,000 down here is jump strength. But what we do is we take away from that number based on a little bit of maths from how far the player is from this. So if they jump from this end of the trigger box, we work out that distance and then we take that away from the jump strength. And give them a message about whether it was a bad jump or a good jump. And if they hit kind of close enough to this one, they'll get a perfect jump. And it's when we get that perfect jump that we want to do some color changing and things. So we'll set the course up and we'll kind of test all these work, and then we'll have a look at adding that logic in after the fact. Okay. So what I want to do is actually add some sort of visual clue to this here. So this locator is just for the editor, and that wouldn't actually be in game. So I'm just going to edit this template. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new voxel mesh. Okay, and we'll call this jump bar. So it's like the bar you have to jump from. I'm going to position this over at this side. Okay, and now I can just extrude out either way. So this is a really nice example of how you can use the voxels, not just for terrain building and world building, but you can actually use them in gameplay ways and as their own kind of entities that you can pull around and change, and kind of make part of the template. I think a nice yellow neon should stand out nicely. So if I just fill that get this nice bright kind of neon effect. So again, the nice thing about a lot of the voxels and the voxel materials we have in Crayta is they're not just sort of flat colors or flat textures. They a lot of them actually come with various kind of characteristics. So if I just chuck lava on here, what we see there, we've got lava. Do that, we'd see it's kind of got this sort of slight animation to it. We saw the neon had that sort of light coming from it. A bit difficult to see here. If I just override this, so if I put this meadow on it, it puts this kind of flowery meadow on the top layer of the voxels. So there's all sorts of stuff we can do. Even disco. Disco's a fun one. Okay, so yeah, as I say, the voxel materials and the things that come with Crayta are a lot more sophisticated than a lot of other voxel engines, and it's quite a nice way of really making the world start to feel alive, especially though kind of the grass and those sorts of things to make natural environments look really great. Okay, so now I've updated my template master. We see that this instance that I placed earlier has received that change. Okay, so here we go, there's that one. Okay, and what we'll do here, yeah, let's say we're going to aim for this building, so we might slide this one to be here. So it's going to take a little bit of back and forth to sort of test how well these things work. Obviously, we're going to have to trial and error the distances and that sort of thing. But the beauty of Crayta is the iteration speed. So jumping back and forth from preview happens incredibly quick, especially with regards to kind of traditional game development. We're not having to wait for huge builds to come through testing, or necessarily wait for lighting maps to bake, and all those kind of things that would slow down kind of iteration testing times in game development. Here we kind of get an idea of what's going on in the editor in real time super quick, but we also get to preview and see what the game logic does really quick. So I'm going to do that in a moment just to show you that side of things. In fact, I could have a quick look at doing that now. So I believe that's 4,000. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, instead of disturbing all the team while they carry on building, I'm actually able to jump into a preview session by myself and let these guys carry on. So in the past, whenever we've previewed, we've pressed F5 or just gone straight to this play button at the top. And what that's done, what that would do is actually pull everyone in with me, and we'd all go and preview together. If I just go to my settings here, I get to choose this option for preview on a new server. So that's going to actually spin up a second preview server and give me like a second one to work from. So if I hit preview, you guys can confirm you should all be in the editor still now, undisturbed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I just hope the start thing works for you.
Oh, that's
I was
a good
halfway
point.
through
Yeah.
it, but hopefully I put in the bit that actually teleports you to the start. It just doesn't do the effect.
Ooh, nice, cool. Okay, so I've got a vending machine, which is a really nice prop. I always forget
Arcade
how cool
machine.
this vending machine, an arcade machine. Yep. But yeah, it's a really cool prop. I always forget how nice this one looks. So if I interact with it,
Mm-hmm. Then, oh no, I didn't hook up the property.
nothing.
I did the script.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
well,
what you should be able to do is I
yeah.
hook up the property and you reload your preview server, right?
Yeah, that should work if you go for that. So let me know when you've done that. Might have to wait for it to save.
That didn't happen.
Try
in the
in
meantime.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine. In the meantime, I'll try and catch up with some chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, hover cars, I think I've seen. Someone's asked where's the dragon. So Adam, you're gonna have to try and sneak the dragon in somewhere.
Okay, I'm on it.
Hover cars might be cool. So I don't know if someone wants to try and work on some like a hover car with like a nice blue kind of light underneath it. Might look cool if it kept whipping around the city. Might be a bit arcadey, but yeah, a bit future. There's something else we could do that might be quite nice.
Okay, Raph the dragon is now watching the start of the race.
Nice.
Adam, didn't you want me to smash through a building? Do you know which one you want me to?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow along the line of the race and see where a good point is.
I'm not sure it's saved yet. I'll try again in a couple of minutes. Oh, in about a minute. Yeah, so as I say, I'm in a separate preview server at this point, so the guys can carry on working. And from this point, I'm actually able to just reload the map. So this one way of actually developing quite a nice workflow in Crayta is having one team working and one team playing, and the iteration speed at that point gets even quicker because the whole team isn't jumping back and forth, but you've actually got some people playing it who can report back changes. The team in the editor can make those changes, and then once the game's saved with the autosave, the team actually playing the game could then reload the map and get those latest changes. So I'll try again sort of in a few more seconds, and if it doesn't work, I'll jump back in and I'll sort of see what the issue could be there.
Okay, Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
I've marked out on one of the taller skyscrapers, roughly around the middle. I've put 2 boulders on it, which
I
are
got
like
it.
the entry and exit points. If you want to
Okay.
try and build a floor around that with like smashed walls,
Okay.
and feel free to take the boulders away.
Sure thing.
And that one, I think, is pure voxels, so it should be easy enough to just like cut a floor out of it, but make sure it's a unique voxel mesh. Actually, I can do that part.
Oh, I thought you'd done that bit.
I have now done that bit.
Are we about to get a lot of buildings with holes in the side?
Maybe.
Basically. Oh, I can't undo it. Can I?
It's all right. I'll undo it on one of the other ones.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'll put it back and then I'll cut through again.
Did you say you'd set on interact on the race teleporter script? Had you done that?
Oh, I hadn't linked the event.
Oh, I'll do that now.
Oops. Because you went halfway through, you rushed me. I had a plan.
Trying to keep you on your toes. Okay, so teleport player. So
yes, I see you've done it now.
Yeah, cool. So just hooking up that event there. Okay, so I'll give that a little bit of time to save through. We should see that update. Have a quick progress report. So the rooftop garden looking nice. The trees look really cool with the cell shaded on as well. Actually, they look really nice. Ooh, we've got a bit of a mock Empire State Building. Looking good.
Yeah, I didn't quite finish that.
Yeah, no, that looks cool. So again, this is another example of some of our sort of more interesting voxels. So this skyscraper voxel, actually with the window, the lights on, and from a distance, actually makes it a really impressive looking structure. Okay, so let's try preview level on my own again.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, at least we've got this fast iteration speed to work out problems nice and quick.
Mm-hmm.
Might not have saved yet. But one more go, and if not, I'll get some more jump points down before I try and do a preview. Okay.
Still no luck?
No. I would say it's either not saved yet or there's an issue there. There was no errors in the console, but I'll keep going with jump points, and I'll not rush you.
It could definitely be my bad script.
Okay, so I want the players to end up over here. So let's move these 2 aerials out of the way.
You know what it'll be?
What will it be?
That because you went halfway through my scripting, I'd actually not put in the player set position. So I wasn't sending them at all.
Okay.
I'd only done the bit with the effect.
Nice.
Now it will work, but it's a bit late now.
Okay, so player's going to land on here, so I can see this boulder here. I can assume this is the destroyed part of the building. So we could do. I wonder if a speed boost and just a regular jump would be enough to get you through that gap. Let's try that. So we'll go templates, and we've got this speed boost. So this is just a mesh from our library. So this kind of arrow with another trigger on top, and a bit of a script. I'll show you the script in a sec, but the script essentially just sets that speed modifier that we pointed out before. Okay, so from here we can see that we send an event to the player, and then on our players, actually one thing I didn't do yet was add a script which came with my package. So this, where are we at? City racing script. I just
Don't panic.
don't panic.
I'm changing the
panicked.
skylight.
Ah, I see.
That's why everything changed. It looked weird.
So I've dragged this script down onto my player now, so this will apply a lot of the logic which came to get those triggers, the jump triggers and the running triggers to work. So a couple of things are set up here. For example, we need to do the messages. So if you get a bad jump, we want to tell the player in a shout that it's in a bad jump. We've got a good jump, which is kind of medium ground, and then we've got our perfect jump, which is kind of going to act as our, where we'll trigger a lot of our effects. And then we want to leave an effect on the ground when the players do a good jump. I know there's a nice one in here, which is like a magic shock pulse. So it does this kind of pulsing out effect from their feet to kind of look like they've done some sort of superhero dive. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm going to jump back in test preview. So you've saved your scripts and stuff now then, Adam?
It should now work.
It should now work. Nice. But again, this is the nice thing with doing the separate preview is it doesn't mean that I'm disturbing the team every time we want to check a little bug fix or something we've changed. We can just jump in, give it a quick go, and everyone can carry on building as they were. Cool. Yeah, that's just walked me up to the start point.
Yeah, you did it. Do the skylight intensity effect as well.
I didn't notice anything change.
Okay, I'll need to check for that working then.
Yeah, I can see Raf from our streams gone by.
Oh, I can see why that might not have worked.
Cool. Okay, so we should see if I run and jump on here. Whoa, we get launched really far and land on the monorail. Okay, so we know we need to tune that jump down. And then if this speed boost is going to boost me, get into here. Okay, so now I need an exit point. I might slide that along and drop down to the garage. I'm going to return to edit and do that now.
Am I right to reload the preview server then so I can check?
Oh yeah, I've left
My,
now. So if you're back in there.
Let's hope it works.
Let's get my bearings. Okay, so we went from here, we jumped all the way over these buildings, ran through there. Okay, so it's this building. Slide this along.
Ah, yes. My pulse effect thing worked.
Nice.
And I noticed Sean's working on some crazy comic book UI. Oh, it's very cool. I've seen it. I've spoiled it, Sean. Sorry.
So disappointed in you, Adam.
No one else has seen it. It's all good. I also saw it kind of broken because it was like permanently on the screen.
Okay, I won't go back into the.
Oh, wait, of course. Yes, thank you for telling me that. Now I'm less embarrassed when it happens.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just halfway through it.
There we go.
Oops, that's in the wrong place. That needs to be there.
Okay. So players can jump down. They can maybe land in here, and then be signposted. Yeah, and do a big jump up to that building. So.
Sorry, I just quit myself out.
Oh no.
I did a hotkey by accident.
we'll stick a billboard up there. Billboards are always quite a nice way of easily blocking areas off. Okay, so players will be forced in this direction. I could go down one floor. No, we'll just go straight. In fact, no, yeah, we'll go down one floor. I feel like that's a bit more exciting. This is part of the stream where I just resort to mumbling to myself. While being really
Yeah, it
indecisive.
seems like a good idea.
Cool. So players fall down there, they're forced to run around the circle. Let's chuck another one of these down, and then at this point they're going to hit a jump pad that's going to throw them up really high over there. So that's going to need a bit of this eroding away for some headspace.
Someone put in some lava. I was going to do that as well. Brilliant.
Oh,
Not too much.
oops.
Get off my
I'll
stuff.
Come on, Adam.
I'll stop there. Sorry.
Okay, so look at our red arrow. So that probably needs to rotate much more.
Is anyone precious about the broken parking lot? Can I add lava to that?
Why is there lava in the parking
Why
lot?
is there lava in lava?
Yeah, why is there
Well, no,
lava?
because the lava-y rock gives a really nice, like, broken fiery effect around holes.
Oh, it's broken, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's like a
It's
hole
not
in the ceiling.
just on fire for no reason.
No,
Yeah, go for it.
but it will be.
I'm happy for you to do that. Let's tweak this jump point because that needed to be much less. So let's go for half, 2,000 power. Okay, are you ready for a quick? If I'm going into solo preview, Sean, is your UI in a usable state? You
Oh
think?
my gosh, no. 1 sec.
Okay.
Well,
Consider that your 2-minute warning. Oh, your minions burning each other, Russ. I think that my minions. That's an interesting name for the group.
is that what we're called now?
Apparently, I mean, I'm
Sounds like a fan
game.
name.
The community decide that you're my minions, and I'm not sure there's much I can do about it. But yeah.
Okay, right, good. Wait, no.
Okay.
1 second.
1 second.
Okay. Yep, good.
Wait, no.
What's going on?
Collaborative development. Okay, there we go. I think I'm okay now.
Okay, I'm going solo preview. Oh wow.
I hope it's not on all the time. Otherwise, I'll just embarrass myself.
It looks like it's on all the time. I've got
Whee!
some pretty cool looking anime go faster stripes.
I tried to warn you, Sean.
Oh, I didn't even jump. That was silly.
I just fixed it. I assume that it takes a while to propagate. out.
Yeah, it may. If you've literally just fixed it, I probably went before it auto saved. That's fine. Let's see if it's saved now.
We'll go with that rather than broken it.
It's quite an intense, but pretty cool. That's going to look really cool when I get the other stuff in. Okay, yeah, that looks fixed now. Perfect jump. Nice. And then fast enough to get in here. And then drop down. And then does this one throw me high enough? Nice. Cool. Okay. That's starting to come together quite nicely. So I'm going to add a couple more jump points in, and then what I'm going to do is start changing, do a bit of coding around getting it to sort of change colors and just start to look really cool when you hit that perfect jump point. So we end up on this roof, don't we? Okay, so next there'll be a jump over to the rooftop gardens.
So
Line that up.
just something worth mentioning with the background that you saw in its crazy broken state. But when you get to use your own UI in game, we will be allowing you to upload images that you can reference for your UI. So the zoomy background is a quick SVG that I've got with some half-tone looking circles on it. And I've uploaded that to our Crayta website. Now I can reference it in game, which makes building more complex, more polished UI look really fast and cool.
Cool. The child edges look very good. You should add fog to the ground so that we can't see it. So one thing with the fog is it doesn't necessarily always behave very well with the post process. So if we put fog on, we'll actually end up with kind of it clashing with this post process slightly. So that's kind of not necessarily ideal in this setting. But yeah, fog would be a good way of hiding the base. Okay, what was I doing here? So, what I could do is getting some more checkpoints around actually. So, where did we got checkpoints in the sky? Yeah. So we end up through that building. So I might actually throw this checkpoint inside that building. In this smashed up office. Oh, there's street lights on it now. Let's not do that. Maybe down inside here, would that work? Oh, there's a car spinning around.
Hello.
I think here is probably best, isn't it? As we exit this area. Cool. Okay, yeah, that kind of works now. So there's one checkpoint. Was that checkpoint 3? Oh, okay. Slightly out of order, but I'll just update. You say it was on the race user, isn't it, Adam, to change the final checkpoint?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool.
What other UI is there that I can comicify?
So there was the timer, and then there was the
yes, the timer. Is there a health bar as well?
No health bar, no. Just
Okay, good.
The timer and the shout were kind of the two I'd thought of.
All right, let's get a sweet looking timer going then.
With your like teleporting player stuff, Adam, what might work quite nicely is if we had some sort of trigger volume after the final checkpoint. So as soon as you run through the final checkpoint, it just teleports you back to that start room.
Yes, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
That'd be quite good.
In fact, I can use the same exact script, can't I? Because it was just hooked into the onInteract event, so I can just hook it into the onTriggerEnter event.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
Where is the end?
Take you back. So it's all the way around at that final garage, parking garage with another hole in its roof.
Oh yeah, all the garages can have holes in. I didn't realise there were multiple.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So it's not the most intricate track, but it's safe for now. I think that should serve its purpose. So let's have another quick stealth preview. I'm sure all the UI will be fine.
Sure, it's fine. It's great.
Okay. So we move to here, and then we. I just noticed the shout does like a little spin around as well. Oh damn it! I just ran off. That's showing off now.
Is the zoomy background not on all the time now?
No, that's fine.
Okay, good.
Oh no, I jumped way too soon. That was bad. Oh, I hadn't got to the checkpoint yet either. Oh, bad at my own game. So I should pick some music out as well before we forget.
Well, Maggie had a few tracks we could pick from.
Yeah, I was listening to them a bit earlier.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe we could ask people what they like to listen to.
Yeah.
If you could, yeah, get
I'm-
a vote on that. Let's see. There was
Oh,
retro
why do I
arcade
keep running off? Sorry.
03. Yeah, go. When you're ready.
I just keep running off the edge of the building and not jump in. Right. A checkpoint. Ooh, I need to turn that one down a bit. Oh, and that left checkpoint's not there. Cool. Okay, yeah, there's a bit of a course there we can do. So which music do we think? Sounds.
Let's see, there was a racing one. I think it was AC Racing Stripes.
AC Racing Stripes music.
I vote for a cheeky little number.
Never again.
No. But then there was also like Jungle Pack Heroic Hat Escape.
Heroic hat.
Heroic.
Yeah.
Hands.
I
Okay.
was like, did
I
I
get
read
it.
that wrong?
No. Indiana Jones, isn't it? Oops, IP.
Okay, that kind of works.
I thought Retro Arcade 03 was quite fun, given that we've got like a comic book feel to this.
Retro Arcade 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. That's definitely up there with the. Yeah,
You got
hopefully.
your music turned down.
I've,
Easier music.
I've just
Yeah.
turned it up. Can people hear the music now? Okay.
On somewhere so I can hear it. Where do I do that?
Yeah, I think it was down quite quiet at the start, but assuming unless I've got music down in the main menu again.
I think I have. That's what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
there you go. Apparently it's all right now.
Oh yeah, it's down a little bit, but cool. Okay, yeah, I think let's go with Retro Arcade. So I'm just going to drag that into the world tree, stick it to the terrain, but we'll make that not 3D. That's just a kind of flat sound across the game. Turn that down a little bit more now. Cool. Yeah, that's a really cool music track, actually. Cool. So that's that. Right. So what I'm going to do now, while we've got a little bit of time left, is get kind of an effect to play, as I say, when we go onto these jump pads. So to do that, I'm going to go to my city racing script. In fact, I'll stop that music while I explain this. Okay, so there's a few things we need to set up here. So we need to get a couple of properties in place, which allow us to pick the color grading and things that are going to happen. Adam's just jumped in here with me, I've noticed. So again, we extend the collaboration side of Crayta over to our code editor as well, which is a really nice way of being able to actually do work together. So in real time, in the same script instance, we can actually get code written. So one function we need here, I'm going to write quickly actually. I'm going to hide myself. Okay, so you should see a full screen now. So I'm just going to stick a function in here, and then Adam, you were going to do a little bit of a math function for me, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Should I just do it right underneath?
Yeah, go for it. You can right away there. Okay, so I'm going to set up what's going to happen in here. So we're going to have a function on the player which will receive a duration, so for how long we want this effect to last, and which field of view we want to set to. So in the Lua side of things, we can actually change the player's field of view. And Adam's going to write a function here that's going to do that kind of in a linear way. So rather than just set the field of view straight away, it's going to kind of interpolate between two numbers and kind of play the effect a bit nicer. So what I want to do is set a schedule. So we want this to happen in a separate thread, so we can actually kind of pause and wait and not disrupt the main game thread. So this is a kind of multi-threading way of getting operations to happen at the same time. Sounds quite confusing, and it's kind of a much more advanced technique for game creation, but it's super easy and super quick way of being able to do some quite complex and quite nice things in the editor. So these are the sort of things you can pick up quite quickly and quite easily. So I've got my function here. So first thing I want to do is set certain things. So I want to set the color grading. So to do this, I'm actually going to set this on the world instance itself. So what we need to make sure we do is call this function on this player's client specifically, and not call it on the server. Otherwise, it will update kind of for more than one player. So the player that gets the perfect jump should be the only one that sees the change to the color grading. So we change the color grading, and that's going to be equal to self.properties. We'll call it perfect CG, so the perfect color grading. And then again, get world post process be equal to self properties perfect. Okay, then we'll wait for the duration, and again, this duration is the amount of sort of seconds we're actually going to pause the execution of the script for. I mean, this is the reason we do it in a scheduler, so we can kind of wait for what we're going to do here is basically switch it back to what it was. So we'll say self get world color grading is equal to self start CG. So this self.start CG we haven't actually set up yet. We'll go do that in a moment. Self start. Okay, so your function, Adam, if you wanted to just chuck those things in to that update player settings when it's ready.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So there's a couple of things I've mentioned there that we haven't set up yet. So we need our properties. So perfect CG, and the type for that is going to be a color grading asset, just one string. And then again, a second one, which will be our perfect post process of type color grading asset. Save. Okay, so if I now go to my player template and scroll down on that script, I think there might be an error in there somewhere. Oh, it didn't save. Once Adam's finished typing this little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oh, there's an error here. What have I done? You haven't.
Oh, I've got an error. I didn't
yeah.
finish typing this bit.
Didn't finish that. So if there's any errors in the script when you save it,
Check
it won't compile here. Okay, cool.
There you go.
Now we see we've got
That one.
these extra things appear. Yeah, you can carry on with your bit. So we have a couple of, or three properties have appeared. One that Adam's set up. So this, the field of view when we get a perfect jump. Because I've set the color grading, I just realized I need to change that one to post process set. So we have the type that determines what actually appears here. So for the color grading, I can pick from a list of color gradings. And in this case, we're going to go for super color. And for this one, we're going to go for a tilt shift. So that's going to kind of do some tilt shift post process as well. Okay, so now we've got this function set up. Again, incredibly quick. We're doing this together in real-time collaboration. So these sorts of ideas can really start to come together really fast. So I want to call this thing now when certain things happen. So for example, when the player gets a speed boost, let's throw one on here. So we'll say self get entity send to local. So that's going to send it to the local client, and it's going to say on the local client, let's call this function. Okay, and the duration is already being passed to this function. So the speed boost itself actually says how long it's going to happen for, and the field of view will just take the property we've already got for the perfect field of view. Okay, so that's there, and then we've got this little bit of logic here. This is where we determine how far we're jumping, and if we hit kind of a perfect jump, we want to just do the same thing here. So self get entity send to local, update player settings. The duration, we have we'll set up another property for that actually. So self.properties perfect duration, and self.properties perfect field of view. Okay, so do this one quickly. So perfect duration of type number with a default value of 3 seconds. So for 3 seconds after we've got the perfect, all of this stuff will happen. Looks like Adam's just going to set up our local init here. So what we're doing here is setting up those two variables we used before to reset everything back to normal. So when the local client initializes, so when the player gets created, we're going to take a snapshot of what the world says the post-process and color grading is.
That should work.
Cool. That should all work. Okay, so a little bit of coding, a little bit of scripting there collaboratively, and we've taken a package from the store and kind of started to turn it into our own creation. So if I've set those up, let me just double check those on the player. So those have been set up there. Okay, perfect jump. So if I stop editing that, right, I'm going to jump. In fact, yeah, we'll give it a minute to make sure that's saved those changes. So we've got our course now. I think it's mostly set up. So we've got checkpoint 2. Checkpoint 1 is the beginning. Checkpoint 2. Checkpoint 3. And then checkpoint 4 at the end. Okay, and then we've got our race on the user. Race user. Oh, so we need to just double check that. So actually the final checkpoint here should be checkpoint 4. Excellent. Okay.
I was just checking out the notification script folder. Loving the UI on that.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Pretty cool. Right, okay, I'm going to jump into solo preview then in a minute and have a look. That's really nice. Okay, I'm going to go and have a look, see how this works, and then maybe we'll have a quick preview as a big group fairly soon. Warp up. Yeah, nice. Cool. So we get that moment of all the color coming into the world, which works quite nicely. Same for our speed boost. And that field of view change, you might notice that the camera kind of is that kind of interpolation between the two. So that looked really, really cool. New timer at the top. I didn't turn this one down. So I need to turn down that one before we jump to the park, or we're going to miss it like that.
I'm just watching the stream now with you doing the jumps. It's quite cool to watch.
Oh, I wasn't running fast enough at the start. Okay, well, that's coming together, so I'm going to jump back. So just a couple of little things to tweak there, and I think we're probably ready to get this game a kind of final preview with the group of us and see what you guys all think. Oh, I noticed that we've got only some lights turned on some of the skyscrapers. It's a really nice effect. Where's my jump? Here it is. So this one, I think we just need to turn that down. Again, 2000.
Who's put all the nice furniture into the superhero start room?
Well, not me.
Cool. Oh, yep, got blimps, got all sorts of decoration going in now. It's starting to look really nice. Okay.
Is there a sound effect on the checkpoints? It's just been asked.
Is there a sound
Good
effect?
question.
I'm not sure actually.
I'll make it play one if there isn't already, unless you're about to like preview or something.
No, go for it. I think we're going to try and wrap a few things up anyway. Just noticed I wasn't hearing any music then actually when I jumped in.
I was going to ask about that.
That's a good point. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be playing.
Oh wow!
Oh,
I come out of my little UI void and see a whole city there.
Nice. No, I just realised that I think I'd unchecked the wrong thing. Yeah, no, I wanted to uncheck ranges, not whether it's 3D or not, of course. So, okay, that should be working fine for next time we play. Oh, right. So, are you adding sounds to the checkpoints now, Adam?
Yep, which should just play on the local client.
Cool.
So everyone doesn't hear you go through a checkpoint because that'd be really confusing.
Would be quite. Oh, this is a really nice little rooftop terrace.
Right, I'm going to search for a good checkpoint sound now.
Are you in preview?
As in, I'm just going to like test some of the sounds to myself and see what's a good sound.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Just realised my audio's off. I was like, that one's quiet.
Yeah,
That'd be useful.
That won't help.
Cat meow. Who wants a cat meow every time you pass a checkpoint?
Yes.
Don't say that because everybody's going to want it.
Exactly. That's why it is one. Okay, cool. People are going to suggest things and not be specific enough. They're going to get crazy things happen.
Like cat meows. This makes a really nice scene to pan through. This is a bit of my guidelines.
Fix that. Blimp light nuking out everything over there.
You've got me listening through all the sounds now, looking for something.
But we don't
The
spend too
cat
long.
meow's fine.
A cat meow.
No.
How many raptor dragons are there now?
Oh,
So
just
I
noticed
was-
there's another one snuck itself onto one of the other buildings.
Once I placed a few more, I was going to say the challenge is when we preview, count how many Raptor dragons are.
Like a bonus objective.
The trick is I don't know either.
Brilliant.
I've lost count.
Okay, everyone ready for a preview then, we think?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. Also, I do know how many Wrath the Dragons there are, so please try and count.
Okay. Off we go. Oh, drop through. I think it's just taking a sec to load in. Okay. Okay, got our music.
It's nice in here.
Oh, if Batman gets
Oh, it is
laser
nice in
out,
here.
we should have a nice place.
Wonder where this furniture came from.
Oh, that UI works really well. I'm really glad.
Yeah, that's
The
great.
meow works brilliantly.
It's a little bit washed out by the music, but it's subtle enough to be
Perfect
funny.
jump. Oh, I fell.
But it was perfect.
That UI is ace, Sean. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Oh, this is going to be in my head
Oh.
for the rest of the night. New personal best. I got 32 seconds, I think.
Does it take you
Right.
back to the room?
It does.
I think I got lost.
Yay!
I'm gonna hang out with Wrath the Dragon in this like rooftop living room.
Oh, I missed. Oh, I can't jump. Well, I think we can all agree that kind of works.
Yeah, it looks good.
So that looks good.
I
Okay,
think the
cool.
death plane used lifting up a bit because I don't seem to die fast enough. You know what I mean?
Okay.
How about that?
Oh, it jumped way too soon.
27 seconds.
Where are you meant to go
Nice.
after the
Hopeless.
you burst in through the hole in the roof with fire
Ugh.
everywhere?
Yeah, and then you drop
Then where do you
down
go?
into
Oh,
the
you drop down.
Oh,
into the car park.
Oh, I keep jumping off the edge. I'm like, where am I meant to land?
Oh, I see you, Sean. Here.
Oh, I see.
Up there.
Oh, then up.
Yeah, like straight up that building. Because it gives you a big jump boost.
Oh.
Perfect jump.
Oh, I'm rubbish at this. I haven't even got past the second jump.
26.
I'm still on 2 minutes and 18.
56.
You're close, Sean.
Oh, my time is still going. I think I missed the checkpoint and got it all confused. But
But you need it so it can take pity on people who are rubbish and get a bit easier when they just keep flinging themselves at the side of a building.
just start carrying them round on like a little cloud
Yeah,
or something.
or just fly.
Cool. Okay, all right. Well, I think that's probably a good place to wrap this up anyway. We've obviously got to a good place with that. So thank you guys for helping. So that's been a pretty fun look at how we can make a quite interesting, stylish time trial. So cheers. Thanks again, guys.
Enjoyed it.
Cool. Okay. So thank you everybody who's watched that stream. That's been, say, a look at one of our game creation templates, the time trial. So I hope that's given you an idea of how you can quite quickly build quite good looking games in Crayta. We've managed to throw that city together relatively quickly. We've added all sorts of bits of UI, all sorts of things to really kind of bring it into our own style that we're going for. We've shown you how you can change things in the API around the color grading and the look and feel of the game. If you do have any questions that didn't get answered on the stream, or anything that kind of you think of after the stream that you didn't think to ask now, do make sure you head over to our Discord. We're quite active on Discord and we do our best to answer those questions over there as much as we can. Or there's quite a back catalogue of things building up there in terms of previously asked questions, FAQs, even an off topic to share pics of your pets. So do head over to crayta.com/discord. We're also fairly active on YouTube. Obviously, if you're here watching the stream now, you'll see that we stream twice a week, and we've got, again, a bit of a back catalogue now of streams building up. So there's all sorts of content there for you guys to go check through if you haven't already. Just before the stream, we were close to 900. I think we're about 4 subs away from 900. So it'd be amazing if we can get a bit of a push now. So if you are leaving the stream with us now, then do make sure you sub on the way out, because that would be really helpful, really great. We've got a lot of stuff planned. It's going to start getting really exciting very soon. So do make sure you sub here as well, and set up your reminders and notifications to get notified for that sort of stuff. As I mentioned at the start, we do have a comic book coming out, just to add to the excitement, and we've also launched our Instagram campaign, so do head over to instagram.com/CraytaGame, and also Twitter. We're on Twitter at CraytaGame, so all sorts of places to come and follow us to find out all the news and information you want to about Crayta. We'll be back next week with another stream on Tuesday, and we'll probably be taking another look at one of our starter games, so do make sure you come and join us then. In the meantime, we'll see you on Tuesday.